Hey guys, this is okay. In the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, during the presidential election in November, we will have 5 questions on the ballot. That's a full ballot. The first question is the state auditor's authority to audit the legislature. I'm not sure about that one, honestly. I don't know. I think it's a good idea in theory. Um, okay. The state auditor audits state agencies, checks things out, making sure that everything's on the up and up. Now, the Commonwealth says they audit themselves through a private vendor. Well, if that's true, then they don't need the Commonwealth's auditor to do it. And that's where I'm kind of hanging out on the fence on that one. Number 2, there's no hanging out on the fence. Don't even need to read the pros and cons because I know the answer to this question. Elimination of MCAS as high school graduation requirement. MCAS, for those of you unfamiliar, is the Massachusetts Comprehensive Assessment System. It's a test the kids have to take in different grades throughout school. And in order to graduate, you must be able to pass it. Well, that isn't fair. And I'll tell you why. Because if the law that says you have to pass the MCAS had been passed before I graduated, it was passed a couple years after, I wouldn't have been allowed to graduate. Because I was in special education, I didn't study the things that were on some of the things that were on the MCAS, and I don't think that that's fair that they can do that. Some school districts will just adopt lower standards so students graduate even if they haven't learned the knowledge and skills they need to succeed. A radical and untested proposal? No, it's not. We never had the MCAS. Gives all students the opportunity to thrive and reach their full potential by voting yes and getting rid of this ridiculous test. It is a one-size-fits-all exam. Exactly. It will allow teachers to stop teaching to a test. Because this test is all they teach for. And for me, it's a yes, yes, yes. Hell yes. Get rid of it. This one here is a sticky wicket. This is unionization for transportation network drivers. I'm not sure exactly what a transportation network driver is. Oh, rideshare. Oh, okay, so you're talking about unionizing Uber and Lyft? Yeah, no. That's a no from me. The problem is was that number 3? That was number 3, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a no from me. And honestly, it was anyway because, most likely, because I know that my father did not like the union when he had to be a part of it. When he was working in the mill and they were unionized, he didn't like it. This one is a no for me. Limited legalization and regulation of certain natural psychedelic substances. They're talking about mushrooms. Specifically, psilocybin and psilocine. Psilocybin and psilocine. And 3 substances found in plants. Dimethyltryptamine, mescaline, and ibogaine. First of all, they use mescaline and ibogaine in medication already. I'm not sure about dimethyltryptamine, but those other 2 they already use in medication. There's no reason to legalize mushrooms. Now they're saying that for the treatment of PTSD, anxiety, and depression. The FDA has already granted psilocybin a breakthrough therapy designation. So why do we need, if we've already got a lot of these drugs already on the market, why do we need to further do this? No, 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 and no. Because people want to get it from the natural source. It depends on... Now, a lot of people will argue that there are marijuana pills available. And therefore, why do you need to get it from the natural source? But a lot of people will also argue that those pills are... First of all, the pills do not have THC, and some people use the THC. I'm not sure what those pills have in them. I don't think they have CBD. There are some with CBD, but the ones that I'm referring to, it's been proven that they don't have a high amount, and sometimes are not as effective as the plant because they don't have a high enough amount of cannabis, of actual cannabis in them. So, minimum wage for tipped workers. I am passionate about this. My mother was a tipped worker when I was little. She was a cocktail waitress. And she always believed fervently that tipped workers should earn a wage. Now, in the Commonwealth, tipped workers don't even earn minimum wage because their tips are taken into account. Well, what if one night you get, $2 in tips all night for whatever reason, because it was a slow night or whatever? Then you get your, $2 an hour and your kids starve. So I like this idea, okay? What would happen is January 21st of next year, they would be up to 64% of the state minimum wage. January the following year, they'd be up to 73%. January of the year after that, 82. January of the year after that, 91. And they would be at minimum wage by January 1st, 2029. I wish it wouldn't take so long, but that is a hard yes for me. Not hard as in difficult, hard as in firm. But those are the questions on the ballot in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Voting is Tuesday, November 5th, which means I'll get my ballot sometime next month. I just think that everyone should look at their booklet from whatever state or Commonwealth you hail and make sure that you know so yeah. And those are my opinions. You may have different opinions, and that's okay. Honestly. Everyone's allowed a difference of opinion. This is just what I believe for my Commonwealth. Like I said, your opinions for your state or Commonwealth may differ, but and I know we've talked about this before in a previous video, but there are 4 Commonwealths: Massachusetts, Kentucky, Virginia, and Pennsylvania. They just never were called states. A Commonwealth is, well, the Commonwealths of the United Kingdom are countries like Canada. It's a country unto itself in the sense that it has its own legislative body. It has the Queen on its money, of course, or will be the King. They're just cycling through what money they had left with her face on it and printing new money with the King's face on it. the Queen is still their queen, even though they have their own legislative body. They have their own prime minister, they have their own, Senate, Congress, whatever. And, but they're a Commonwealth of England, so they're under the Queen's or the king. I keep forgetting it's the king now. Under his rule, under his domain. Same thing with Australia, South Africa. Oh my gosh, there are a few. I don't know if India is still considered a Commonwealth, but in the case of the United States, the reason certain states are called Commonwealths is because they were Commonwealths of England and the name stuck for those specific states. They're Commonwealths. So, and you notice they're the earliest states. Well, no, Kentucky not really. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I thought that was the reason Massachusetts was called a Commonwealth. But anyway, let me know in the comments how badly I messed that up. And we're going to bake. So I will see you for that. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I hope if you do happen to live in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, that my opinions helped you form an opinion. Whether it was the same or not, it doesn't matter. That's why we vote. Bye, guys.